Hi guys, welcome back to Sunday School. My name is Sis Natosha. I'm so glad you're here today. So if you joined us last week, you remember that Sister Jenna told us about creation. And that's what we're doing, is walking through the Bible here with our virtual Sunday School. And so she told us about how God created the heavens and the earth and the creepy crawlies and the big vast ocean and the beautiful mountains, and how he created man and woman. So that's where we're going to be picking up today, is in Genesis chapter 2 and 3. So if you want to read that on your own at home, that's fine. It's more than fine. It's great. Genesis chapters 2 and 3. But today, for time's sake, we're not going to read all of that, but I'm going to give you kind of a recap of what's going on. So, as we said, we left off with God had just created the whole world. I mean, it's time to take a rest. So that's where we come in chapter 2. He's taken a rest because everything that he had created was good. Well, the first time that we hear God say that something is not good is when he talks about Adam being alone. He said it's not good for man to be alone. So he created Adam, a friend, a helpmeet, a wife. He created Eve for Adam. So now they had each other. And this was so awesome. And I believe, of course Jenna covered the Garden of Eden. That's where Adam and Eve were in, right? So this was this beautiful paradise. I mean, I imagine, well, we know before then that the animals didn't eat each other, and Adam and Eve had, protection, and they took care of all the animals and stuff like that. So they co-inhabited, which that means they lived peacefully together. And so I imagine that Adam was able to just go up and stroke a lion's mane, or Eve could go up and just, pet a wild horse and not, it not hurt her. There was complete unison there. They all existed in complete harmony. There was no pollution. They could go up to a creek and just not worry about, sipping from a spring of nice, cool, cold water. I mean, this is just me using my imagination. You can imagine whatever you want to, but just if you close your eyes and think of the most beautiful, peaceful place, that was Eden. And God had created that for Adam and Eve. And one of the most awesome things was that God would actually come down in the cool of the day, and he would walk with them and he would talk with them. And I imagine that they would just sit and watch maybe the wild animals roam across the land, or maybe they pet wild prairie dogs. I mean, they weren't wild then. Everything was just beautiful and fresh. It was just everything you would imagine. So this is just a great thing. This is just a beautiful gift that God had given men and women. And so he said, listen, Adam, I want you to enjoy this, but I have one request, one thing that I don't want you to do. Do not eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And that's it. That's all he said. He didn't give him an explanation. He's like, just don't do it. You can enjoy this. You can have any fruit you want to. You want that banana over there? That's fine. Go ahead. Peel that, bro. That's good. Make you a banana split. But I do not want you to eat from the fruit from that tree. Okay. Easy enough, right? Yeah. Well, I imagine it was like to Eve and to Adam probably, Mom saying, you know what, you can go get you a snack. You've got apples, you've got, bananas in the refrigerator, but there's this one new thing that you've never tasted it before, but I just don't want you to eat it. And Mom has her reasons. Maybe she has to do a special preparation to it. Maybe it needs to be fixed in a certain way. Maybe she wants it to be surprised. Maybe, you don't know, but she doesn't give you that explanation. She just says, eat of anything you want to in the fridge. Go get you a snack after school, but don't eat of that. That's the only thing you want to eat at that point. You must have it. So it's so enticing. So this is where our evil snake comes into play. The Bible says that he's cunning and crafty. What that means is he's he's slick. He's slick with his words. And he comes slithering on up to Eve and he said, "Hey girl, what's going on?" She's like, "Nothing much." Well, I mean, obviously she's hanging out near the tree because, he says, "Hey, see that tree right there?" So she's kind of hanging around where she shouldn't be. I mean, why wasn't she over there by the pineapples or something? I don't know. Why was she hanging out at that tree? Because it was intriguing to her. So she's already in a bad spot. She doesn't need to be there. Here comes the snake. And the snake comes up and he says, "You know what? It's not a big deal. God actually thinks that if you eat of this tree, you'll be like him. You'll be like a god. You'll be, so he's actually he's holding you back, man. If you eat this, you'll have a beautiful, nice gift. That's what God's holding from you, this shiny, sparkly gift. Oh, don't you want to open it?" "Sure you do." "Oh, yeah. Yeah, you want to open this. Sparkles. I mean, for it to look so beautiful, only goodness can be inside." You see what he's being? He's being slick. He's being slick. He's talking to her. And you know what? Eve's taking every bit of it up because, she's already put herself in a position. She's already put herself in a spot where she shouldn't be hanging out anyway. And then this guy that's up to no good comes talking to her. And she's like, I see what you're saying. I mean, why not? There has to be some reason. And so the snake has convinced her that God doesn't have good in mind for her. That that's not his intentions. His thoughts towards her aren't good. We know that's a lie. A lie, right? Now this is where the first lie was told. So Eve, she took a bite of the forbidden fruit. And so often when we do bad stuff, sometimes we want other people to join us. And she was created to help Adam and Adam to help her. And they were supposed to be buddies. They were supposed to be good for each other. She ended up telling Adam, "Hey, nothing happened. I didn't die. Eat this fruit. It's fine." So Adam didn't take much convincing either. And he ate the fruit. And then they both realized they were naked. They didn't know what was going on. They got this sudden knowledge that they didn't have before. Before they were kind of like a little baby. A baby doesn't know when it needs something. It just lets his mommy and daddy take care of them. Well, that's how Adam and Eve were. God was just taking care of them. He had a great plan for them if they just stayed on task, but they didn't. And now they knew evil. And God comes looking for Adam. He's like, "Adam, where are you?" Well, of course, God knew where Adam was at, but he needed him to come to him. And he's like, "I'm here." And I imagine that God was so sad. He's like, "What happened?" And Adam's like, "It's not really my fault. It's Eve's fault. And then, that woman you gave me, and that is a party foul. That's not cool for him to start shoveling the blame over on Eve because he ate the apple too. But Eve did eat the apple. So they were both at fault here." God didn't have a choice. He said, "I had one rule for you guys. And now you've got to go. You can't stay here because now if you eat of other things, if you do of other, you couldn't handle the plan that I had. You couldn't understand it. And now you've ate of this and you've brought death upon you, basically. You believed this lie. So here is the present, the gift that the devil, that the snake said, "Hey, look, open this. All that's going to be in it is goodness." Let's open it. Ew. A dirty diaper? Trash? A stinky onion? What? This is not the beautiful gift you promised. This is trash. This is filth. This is disgusting. This is gross. Do you know what this is? Filth, disgusting, gross. That's sin. Yeah. By them believing the first lie and by them disobeying God, they brought trash. They brought sin into the world. And sin could not be in the garden. God never intended for sin to be in the garden. He never intended us to have sin in our lives. But He gave us a choice. He gave Adam and Eve a choice, and they made the wrong decision. They disobeyed. So they were cast out of the garden. And I imagine this was just so horrible for them. Not only were they leaving this paradise, they were leaving their connection with God, their communion. That means they got to fellowship, which fellowship basically means they got to hang out with God all the time. So now they're out of the garden, and the garden is being protected so they can't go back in. This breaks God's heart, because sin cannot go into the garden. Sin cannot enter in heaven, and He sees them, and He still loves them. He loves them so much that He loves them like your mommy and daddy or your grandparents or the people that take care of you, the people that you love. Like, He loves them. God, we can't even understand the love that God has for us. And He's like, you know what? They believed a lie and they disobeyed me, but I'm still going to make a way for them. Yeah. I'm going to make a way where they can come back to me, where they can come back to heaven. They can come back to paradise. And that's where you're going to hear a lot about this today, where He brought His Son Jesus to make up for that horrible mistake. He did that for us. So by disobeying in the garden, it's what's called the fall of man. And that's why our world is not so beautiful anymore. We have moments that are great. I'm outside right now. This is gorgeous. It's a beautiful day. But we have to admit there's yucky things in the world. There's stinky things. There's disgusting things in this world that God doesn't like. So He said, you know what? I'll send my Son Jesus, and He'll live among them, and He'll show Himself perfect. Then He'll die on the cross, and then He will rise again 3 days later, and then we'll make a way for the Holy Spirit. That means God, just like in the garden, He'll come back and He'll fellowship with us and He'll talk, so we can live a life where we don't have to feel rotten and stinky. And one day we'll get to go back to heaven and have a beautiful paradise with Him once more. And that, even though this is a sad story, it's sad that Adam and Eve disobeyed. It's sad that the snake let the devil use him, and then he couldn't walk anymore. Did you know, fun fact, that snakes, if you look at their bone structure, they used to be able to walk. But God said, because you let the devil use you the way you did, now you have to slither. And because Adam and the snake, He made them enemies forever. And He said that the snake will be bruised by the heel of man, and the snake will also try to bite the heel, your foot, of man. So like there would always be battling, and that's why they're not that close with each other, the snake and the men. And once more, this is the biggest thing to remember, is that Adam had a choice. The snake had a choice. We have a choice every day. Do we want to follow God's way and trust, even if we don't have the answers, even if we don't know, why can't we eat the fruit? We're going to trust Him, and we're going to know that His way is good and He has a better plan for us. Do we want to trust that, which that seems pretty good? That seems like a good deal. Or do we want to open that gift that was a lie with the trash in it? You know, it might be pretty on the outside, but inside it brought Adam and Eve nothing but sadness. But here's the best part. As we said, God, in all his loving kindness, he made a way for us to come back to him. Now we're going to be continuing next week for, I'm not sure what the lesson's on, and I'm not sure who's giving it, so that's going to be a big surprise. But if you'll tune in next week, we will have another Sunday school lesson for you. If you didn't get to watch last week with Sister Jenna, it's awesome. She even has a worksheet that you can print out to follow along. I love you guys, and anytime that you need to reach out to us, you just message us here on Facebook, and we will get your message, and we will help you in any way we can. All right? I hope you have a great, wonderful day. Do good, think on good, and good will happen. Love you.